So Derek, 4th place secured, Europa League secured, how do you put that into words?
Magic even hearing that, you know, it's something that obviously, it wasn't something we set out to do at the start of the campaign, but certainly in the last few weeks it's something we were searching for and working towards. As soon as we got top 6, it was a case of what's next. We spoke about that, and you know, every time we set these boys a challenge, they come up trumps, and they were outstanding again today. I think it's been a huge season for the club, you know, and I think when you see the Kelly fans celebrating with the lads at the end there, it's been a huge effort. You know, 2 years ago we were still scrambling and trying to get this club back into the Premier League where it should be, and this time last year we still couldn't even prepare for the following season because we still had work to do. And you know, the responsibility shown at the back end of last season means we get the reward for this season, because it means we can start to prepare. It means the recruitment team can properly set about the task of getting better players in the building. But it's not just better players. I don't have players who are full of guys that can win you a game, of course, but we don't have players who are just guys who are just individuals and you're relying on them all the time. Where I rely on my team is just that responsibility. We play with 2 strikers and 2 wide players, but they knock their pan in, they give a shift every week. Sometimes 4 of them turn up and they were so difficult to play against, but always one of them at least carries that threat for us. Today it was Vass. It's quite, I think, significant that my captain gets a goal that gets us into Europa League. He has, over the last couple of months, hardly trained. He's put himself out there, as he did at the back end of last season, to keep the club in the league. You know, and we're so fortunate to have a captain like him. I thought Marley and him were terrific and led the line well. The goals an example of the combination. But behind it all, a brilliant resolve and responsibility and strength to keep St Mirren at bay. It wasn't without scares, but we have to do so much right to get a clean sheet today. There's so much that to the naked eye people want to see, but when I see people filling in and showing certain St Mirren players on the ball and making sure that we defend certain situations the way we'd spoke about, they do everything to the letter most of the time, and you get your rewards for that. You know, so it's like we've managed to win so many games. We've shown a different resolve to us away from home this season, and it's great to get another win. This team just loves winning. It loves being together. It loves playing football together, and we're very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to have these boys. I mean, they're an absolute joy to work with and to manage, and I think my staff are equal in that. My staff, the players are lucky to have the staff that they've got. But as to get together as a club, we've just pushed and asked a lot of ourselves, and we've done some magnificent work this season.
You touched on it, but where we were last season when it finishes up 4th place, it was just unthinkable when you finish up last.
Yeah, I think we spoke about the difference between our points tally at the split. I think I used St Mirren as a reference, and because they had got themselves into top 6. St Mirren hadn't managed to beat us last season, and we used that as a reference that I think we couldn't be too far away. We wanted to get more experience. A lot of our lads last season were playing first team football for the first time, and a lot more were playing Premier League football for the first time. That wasn't something that was planned, but it was something that we had to deal with. And I think what we expected from this season, certainly, obviously, close season, there'll be fans who remember we were over at Linfield and there was a skeleton squad with hardly any senior players. We were still a million miles away from it even then, and it wasn't. We were only a week shy of starting the League Cup, so it was a really stressful summer. But I took comfort for the players. Every player that walked in, they all had an agenda. They all had a responsibility to make things better at the club, and we've met it. And I think what we said at that time last season was, well, if we can get 12, 13 points more, which is in effect 4 more wins, then you'd be there or thereabouts for top 6. And once you're in the top 6, you've got an opportunity for Europe. And obviously we secured Europe. Now getting 4th, cemented Europa League spot, it's magic, because there was still a challenge here. You know, you heard Stephen Robinson last week after they beat Dundee, your job's to catch Kelly now. So we had to respond. We had to have a good week, and the players have been brilliant this week, and I felt that, you know, obviously the atmosphere helps, the conditions of the day was difficult, but it's a great advert for the Scottish game today, and a brilliant support. And the players had that one last big hurrah in them, one big effort to get the job done.
And just on the fans, those full-time scenes especially.
Magic, aye. And I think, actually when I was watching it, you know, thinking that you know, the difficulties we've had to get to here, you know, and it's not all been plain sailing. I said to Davy Watson on the pitch after the game that, you know, football's not always like this. It isn't. Football can be tough. You know, you can be out of game with injuries, a lot of soul searching, sometimes lack of form. Sometimes football can be tough, and players are exposed to so many criticisms now and abuse and things like that. So you've got to try and enjoy days like today. I really have. And for somebody like Davy, who's just starting out his career, to Mally Watkins at the back end of his career, every one of them has contributed. I've got an absolutely brilliant squad, and I think the fans see that. Do you know what I mean? There's no guys that you can't hang your hat on. They're no looking at them going, oh, what's he going to give us a day? Or you kind of know what you're getting. And that, from a support's point of view, is brilliant, but from a manager's point of view, it is everything I want. Is trust, responsibility, dependability. I just need people who do their jobs well and do it right, and that's what we've got here at the club. And you know, something that's important that we try now, and you know, we've got a responsibility now to finish this week off properly. You know, we've got we could easily just be off for a couple of days, but we're in tomorrow. We'll enjoy this week, hopefully. We've got a big game on Wednesday where there's going to be a lot of spotlight on it, and we'll have to be ready for it. But equally, I think it's important that we the building blocks are already in place. I try to keep as many players as we've got at the minute at the club for next season, and try and improve on that and see if we can improve on next season, because although we're enjoying the moment, it'll not be long before it comes round and questions start to get asked about what we're doing next. And that's the way it should be for every club, and Kilmarnock's no different. All right.